When we came here, I ended up getting a job with the city of Gulf Breeze, and so working as one of their project managers, I had a really, really uh, good ability to kind of feel out what that city was intending to improve for their residents. And Gulf Breeze sets a really good standard. And you can drive through Gulf Breeze and see the improvements and how it affects those residents. So they have a lot of projects that I was a part of that were really well implemented and just really good improvements like stormwater.
Let's take a look at some of those. I think you can send me some photos of those. So this is one, and I think it's related to some of the grants they're getting now, right?
Yes. So this is the septic to sewer project. So the septic tanks that are existing within the Gulf Breeze proper, if there is sewer available and your septic tank fails, I don't know if anybody has really experienced this before, but the county will not permit a septic tank if you have sewer available. So you're then forced to connect, and you're forced to connect on your own dime, which is not cheap by any means. You have the impact fee, plus all the construction fee and the materials, all of that. Plus you have to abate your septic tank, which is expensive as well. So the city recognized this problem, and being where they are, it's such an environmentally critical area, they want to protect their water quality.
Sure.
So this septic to sewer project was one of the first things that they rolled out, I think about 2 or 3 years ago. They started implementing it. And it's an absolute blessing, not just financially for the residents, but for the water quality and just for the city in general. It's
and is that what's going on here? Let me see if I can find a couple pictures that we had. Is that what's going on here? Or is this
this is stormwater installs.
This is stormwater. Okay, it's a little bit different.
And so Navarre does really need, stormwater management improvements. But the city of Gulf Breeze did a lot of stormwater management improvements. And so this was, I believe, on Bear Drive. It was a stormwater project that I was over when I first started there. And they recognize the issue with flooding. They recognize the issue with hurricanes as well, pushing water up in. And you have really high groundwater in general. So these projects were typically shovel ready and just ready to be put on the books and get published out, or if they needed grant funding, they would go ahead and advocate for it then. But to alleviate a lot of the flooding issues that these residents experienced during the various hurricanes over the past 20 years, this is why you see projects like this implemented.
So what was your as a project manager working in the city, what was your interaction with the county staff? Like, did they co-mingle with the city, or was it separate, or how did that work?
So there were a little bit of coordination between, especially with some of the grants, like the Restore grant. It was monitored by the county. So we did coordinate quite a bit with Santa Rosa County during that time for the various projects we had that were funded through that. And then as far as other coordination, from what I recall, we did coordinate with them a lot for emergency management procedures. Because
what I see a lot of times is the county providing some of the funding, but then the city actually executing. Because I see all the time, especially with stormwater mitigation, is I'll see in their plans just thousands of dollars set aside for Navarre, and then it ultimately doesn't get spent.
Kind of disappears.
It ends up. I mean, it's kind of like that unit like I was talking about, where there was units that had much bigger budgets than mine, but then by the end of the fiscal year, a lot of that money was spent by my squadron because the other guys couldn't spend it, right? And so I wonder, is that similar to what's happening in Navarre, where the well-meaning commissioners say, okay, we're going to set aside a bunch of money from Navarre, but then without a city staff to actually execute shovel-ready projects, they don't get done. Right?
So, and there's two elements to any kind of project implementation. I'm sure you know. You have the funding that you need for construction of that project, whatever it is, but you also have to do a lot of design work up in front, and especially for stormwater, there's a lot of design work and feasibility studies that have to be done. So I think in order for the county to advocate for anything that of this nature for improvement in Navarre, I think it's going to cost quite a bit more than we expect. So that's why you would really want to look at incorporating or finding another way to advocate for that funding before you ever are ready to do the project. You need to get the design and the feasibility studies done so that you can prove that, hey, this is a worthwhile project, here's how much it will cost, and we need to get going on it.